What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here. In this training, we're going to break down various college choices for your student, specifically in the UC system and the Ivy League school system. If it's the very first time meeting, my name is Coach Tony, former UC Berkeley admissions reader, former UCLA outreach director. I've been helping families with the college admissions process for the last 16 years now. And navigating this time, our students have gone into all these schools, the various UCs, the various Ivies. We've seen what gets a student to get into these schools. We've seen the results of their students going to these schools. So today we're going to kind of break it down, right? Because again, you hear these names like UCLA, like Berkeley, like Cornell, Harvard, all these amazing schools as well too. But people just know them for the name. And anyway, when you ask a little deeper questions, there's not a lot of knowledge behind that. So it's kind of hopefully what this call is going to do, kind of demystify and break down this process for you guys here. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen really quick. Let me know in the chat. We are going live to some folks here on Zoom. In the Zoom, folks who are here in chat, let me know if you can see my screen as well too. If you can see, you say college choices from the UCs and Ivies, marvelous. You are good to go. Fantastic, fantastic. All right, in that case, go ahead and kind of get started a little bit over here. So I will say our goal, right? Our goal today is not to say that one system is better than another, but rather give you a framework, right? A framework to understand which environment would be best perfect fits for them, right? I think that's one of the big things that we always tell our families. Again, if you guys are looking for, I want my child to go to an Ivy and nothing else but an Ivy, there's other programs they do that as well too. Our kids make it in, but yeah, it's because it's for them. It's probably one of the best fits for them as well. I think for us, that's kind of one of our big things. We want to make sure the school is a perfect fit for your child. If it's not going to be a perfect fit, and why go, right? And for a lot of people, it's usually the selfish reasons, right? I'm like, hey, I want them to go to, I can brag about them in the future again, which is good for a little bit, but are we setting the kids up for a failure? At that point, that's something we'll talk about today as well. So we're gonna focus on a few things today. If you're looking at, I have my notes up here, so you guys can see as well too. So we're going to focus on the big picture. So we're going to focus on UCs kind of versus Ivies, so you guys know what that looks like is number one. Number two, we're going to focus on school personalities, right? So when people tell me, Coach Tony, what's this school good for? Or I want a school that's good for this major or this type of student, right? There are schools, right? There are some schools that kind of gravitate towards some of these. You guys can understand that as well too. Next one, we call this the reality check for some families. So I'll teach us to understand, again, perfect fit, best fit is a little different than aiming for top tier colleges as well. And last one is the framework. The framework for a framework for your college list, which is the ultimate like takeaway of this call. Okay. Really quick in the chat for those who are live with me now, we have over 144 people who are joining me live. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us tonight, at the time of recording this evening as well. In the chat, if you can drop, is your child interested in any of these schools, any of the UC schools? Go ahead and drop it in the chat. UCLA, the Berkeleys, the Irvine, San Diego's, Davis's, Santa Barbara's as well too, right? Merced, Santa Cruz, or is your child interested in any of the Ivy schools as well, right? So are they just then the Harvards, the Yales, the Princetons, the Columbias, the UPenns, the Browns, Dartmouths as well too. Here, right? So I see in the chat now, got all the California schools. We have Berkeley, we have Santa Barbara, we have Cornell. Scripps, by the way, fun fact, is not a UC nor an Ivy, but it's a private school over here as well. You have Ivies, you have UC Berkeley, San Diego, both more UCs as well. Princeton, more UC schools. Awesome. So we have a good mix of folks as well today. So it should be a fun training for us today. Okay. So that being said, let's first talk about the two systems, right? So let's talk about the two. Oops.
Alert from Shannon Smith. C.
Nope. Oh.
Alert from Peter Carvalho to everyone. UC schools, UCI, UCD. Window. Alert audio now untyped.
Hold on.
Screen sharing meeting controls window. Menu. Pause/stop.
All right, we're back. So, first off, let's talk about the two systems, UCs versus IVs, right? So, we're talk about the a comparison. So let's do a quick little table to make it a little easier to understand as well. So, we'll focus on the UCs versus the IVs. So you guys can see that as well. So, the first one is a type of school. So, one of the big differences of the UCs versus the IVs, the UCs are public colleges, right? So, they're public schools, they're not private schools, is the thing over here. So, they're public colleges. They're usually state funded as well, so they get money from the government as well. Versus the Ivies are private, right? These are private and they're independent research universities. The UCs are also research universities as well. So that's probably one of the biggest difference. By the way, if you go to a lot of other schools in the California area, they're private or public schools too, but a lot of them aren't research focused. So the reason why a lot of families do like to go to UCs or Ivies is that they're both research focused colleges, meaning if your child's interested in one of the research fields, medicine, law, all these fields, it's perfect. It's a perfect fit because that's going to be what you are going to be doing, right? There are some fields, some careers that are not, right? That are not research. Is that bad? No. Like, for example, Cal State schools. Cal States are more like California State universities. There's 23 Cal States in California. These are more hands-on based schools. So if you're looking for a more hands-on career, like accountant, that's why by the way, there's no accountant major in any of the UCs because that's more of a hands-on field, right? It's more hands-on. That falls under Cal State. Not good or bad. It's kind of how you used to learn the material. That's the first one. In terms of size, right? In terms of size, as well, too, UCs have around 230,000 in within 9 colleges in the system. The Ivies have only 70,000 across 8 colleges as well, too. So huge size. Again, that kind of comes with the nature public versus private, right? Public versus private. You'll see that the public has a lot more students per school on average here, right? The setting for these schools, all these schools are located in California, is the thing, the UC name, right? As well, most of them are very in diverse, urban and suburban, and even coastal. Like, for example, UC Santa Barbara is on the beach itself, right? So you walk outside class, boom, the beach is right there as well, too, right? So that's that versus the for Ivies, these are mostly northeastern, right? Because there's a few that's not. There's these are mostly urban, suburban, small towns, right? It's kind of usually how these Ivies are set up. There's 8 of them. Is they keep in mind people do talk about like they call them public Ivies or Ivy plus college schools that are similar to the Ivies. The Ivies are just the first 8 colleges in that region is the key there. Okay, so that's the setting. Next one, educational focus. Educational focus of the school. The UCs are more for large scale research, right? There are hands-on learning opportunity, strong STEM and professional programs, not projects, programs as well too, versus the Ivies, undergrad, liberal arts education, strong humanities, social sciences, and graduate programs. One of the things I always tell families when you look up colleges, most of the things you look up, by the way, is going to be their graduate departments, not actually their undergraduate. So keep in mind when you guys are doing research about schools, make sure you're filtering specifically for undergraduate because it'll naturally get you the graduate program information as well too. Okay, the admissions focus. When it comes to this one, the UCs use something called holistic review, where they review everything on your application, and the Ivies call this truly holistic review as well too, right? They also have essays, recommendations, and they weigh the ACs as well too. Same thing with the UCs. They also do the same thing as well too, right? So pretty much both schools use holistic means they look at everything. Not one factor is going to be a yes or no for you, right? Everything's going to play a big role in this process. Okay. In-state advantage, like is a help being part of the state. There is significant. There's a I would call the resident. You get resident tuition and admissions as well too, right? So resident tuition, you save money because you don't pay the out-of-state kind of tax. I call it the out-of-state tax as well as the requirements are a little lower. So 3.0 minimum UC GPA for the California residents, 3.4 for non-California residents as well too. Keeping in mind that 82% of seats for California. So 82% of all the seats at the school is reserved for the in-state California or the resident California residents, and 18% of spots are saved for out-of-state, international, are all grouped under this 18% as well. I think the only school, or there's a small handful of schools that break this number. UCLA is like 20%, so they're a little higher, but they're all really close to that 18% or under as well. Versus for Ivies, no preference because they're private schools, right? Because they're private schools, they don't really care. Private schools, you're in state, out of state, you pay the same price. So they're kind of agnostic about that is the key. Okay, so that's that. And then last one, acceptance rates as well too. It ranges as well too. It ranges as well. So UCLA is down at like the 8-9% range, and schools like Merced is up at the 60% range. Just because it's newer as well too is all. Again, unless you're in their BSMD program, Merced, that's a really much smaller number. There's the average, and these are very low. So typically 3 to 8% is kind of how this number looks like for the Ivy. So uber competitive when it comes to the rates over here. Okay, so that's gonna be the quick little comparison of the two systems over here. Okay, moving on. Next thing is like the personality traits, or like the school personalities for you guys as well. Okay, so let's break down. We'll break down the UCs. I know we have a lot of UC schools over here, and then we'll break down the Ivies for you guys as well. Okay, so the first one, let's start first with UC Berkeley as well too. My alma mater, right? Go Bears, go Bears, right? So known for. So again, this is some quick things as well too. I did a quick little search to grab all this data. Again, is this all they're known for? No, there's just a lot of things, but then these are just a quick high level things, and why a student might choose right their school as well. So when it comes to Berkeley, right, they're really big for engineering across the board, computer science, business, their activism across the campuses as well too, and their Nobel laureates as well too, right? So fun little fact: the UC Berkeley has more Nobel laureates than any other college out there in the world, I believe, as well too. So fun little fact there for Berkeley. So again, I always tell students might really enjoy here: world-class academics, politically engaged environments, high energy environments as well too. Right? Doesn't mean you have to that. No, I might personally kind of stayed away from a lot of this stuff when I was a student there. Teachers were phenomenal, uber smart people. The guy who made the Big Bang Theory teaches at Berkeley, or he taught there when I was there. I used to take a class under Bill Clinton's Secretary of Labor. He taught a very famous class that's like always like filled up to the brim. Got to take his class. So very cool experiences over there as well. So that's UC Berkeley. And keep in mind, there's a lot more things than this, but these are the high level things. If some parents are like, hey, where do I start? This is kind of where I would say let's start in here. Okay. Next one, UCLA. UCLA, I would say arts and entertainment, film, medicine, school spirit, because they have a lot of D1 sports over there as well. Okay, so people who usually like SLA like thrive in large, diverse, energetic city, right? And want top programs with vibrant social scene. I used to work at UCLA as a director over there as well too, and I can plus one to all these all these kind of verbs, adjectives as well too. Is definitely for sure UCLA. Again, keep in mind, doesn't mean if I want to do business I can't do UCLA. That's not what this means. This means this is a starting point. And also, fun fact, Berkeley UCLA does not offer a business program. They offer business economics. So keeping that as well too. Okay. Real quick, is this useful so far? Quick little pause real fast in the chat. Is this useful for you guys? Am I going down a good direction? Do you guys want me to skip this? Is it good in the chat? Let me know. Yes, no, maybe so. As well. So some people say yes. Awesome. This is good. All right. All right. Keep going. Keep going. UC San Diego Tritons. Go Tritons as well too. A lot of them go for biological sciences, engineering, research heavy programs, and socially chill. That was a search result I found on Google. chill was what they described a lot of students there as well too. So I would say here is a you are a serious student focused on STEM and wants on STEM and wants a collaborative beach adjacent lifestyle because right it's right there result too again the use people like the UCs because next to the beach that's kind of the theme you'll see especially for Santa Barbara but it's little spoilers a little later on there right Santa Barbara speaking of Santa Barbara right Santa Barbara we got physics marine science that's probably one of the big ones a lot of our students go there for is marine science engineering they are a work hard, play hard culture over there as well too. And then when it comes to here, you want top academic experience balanced with strong social life in a beautiful coastal setting. Again, their school is literally on the beach, right? So that's why a lot of our kids do apply there because you're on the beach itself over here. All right, next one, UC Irvine, right? Computer science. Gaming, fun fact, UCI has one of the largest esports clubs. So they will pay, I think it's 6,000 a year. They'll pay your student to play video games for their team. They're one of the big ones. So that's their criminology, health sciences is the thing, right? Next one, you're interested in cutting edge, sometimes edge, sometimes niche programs in a safe, planned, suburban community. The thing about UCI also, fun fact, it's a circle. It's two circles, by the way. If you ever visit a school, if you're ever lost, just go walk around. You'll find whatever you need to do anyways, because the school is two outer circle, inner circle. That's all it is. Fun fact. I lived next to the school my whole life, so I was there a lot as well too. All right. So UC Irvine. Next one, UC Davis as well. UC Davis itself here. They're known for their agricultural and environmental sciences. A lot of our kids like picks at Davis for this. And the other big major they offer is veterinary medicine. Uh, friendly vibe as well too is kind of what Davis is like. A lot of our kids do go for agriculture and vet. That's kind of the two big ones that a lot of like gravitates. So I hear that, boom. Davis is kind of usually my thinking there. World class education in life sciences with a supportive college town feel. Fun fact, everyone. Davis is one of the widest UCs, like one of the biggest wide. So I believe, I think it's still true. I believe it is the city with the most bicycles in either California, if not the US. So double check that fact. But the school is so wide, most students have a bike that they bike everywhere to every single class as well too. So fun little fact for you guys there. So the school, because they have so much land, it was actually a farm before all this. So they built it was Berkeley's farm. They built it there, and they go is the key there. UC Santa Cruz, banana slugs, right? Santa Cruz, astronomy, marine biology, progressive, alternative culture, and narrative evals as well too. So for those who haven't visited Santa Cruz, it's in a forest. It's literally a forest next to the beach. Again, it's the same theme, right? The beach is there, but it's in a forest, which is pretty cool. There, independent thinker who values I can't spell interdisciplinary study and less traditional approach as well too. Yeah, fun. They are the banana slugs. All right, next one. You see Riverside as well too. Social mobility, diversity, entomology, health sciences. They're one of the schools that are next to a hospital, right? Some of these schools are right next to hospitals as well. So some of the people go to Riverside and go straight to the med program right after as well too over here, right? Driven students seeking a supportive, diverse environment with strong research opportunities as well too. Okay, so That's Riverside. Last one, UC Merced, the baby of the group, right? They're big on sustainability, engineering. It's small, intimate, so it's not smaller. They did build really fast, though. I think we've had students who have gone there as well too, and every 2, 3 years, it almost feels like it doubles, right? Because it's how fast they're building things as well too. New campus has new campus features as well. Again, those of you interested in the BSMD route, the medicine route, that's the only school that UC offers, right? UC Merced's BSMD program is accelerated, I think 6 years to get in, get your bachelor's and your medical by the end of it as well too. So this one is one a part of a growing, tight-knit community and help shape a young universities identity as well too. So yeah, very, very cool. As well. So, and that's it. Those are the 9 UCs. There's actually 10 UCs. Fun fact: the 10th UC is UC San Francisco, which is not an undergraduate. If we are here today, we're usually talking about undergraduate programs. And then San Francisco is not an undergraduate program, so it offers only a grad program over here. All right, so we'll focus that. Cool. So again, it's quick again. This is not everything. Keep in mind, it's not like, oh, this is everything. No, this is kind of some things to start off with. Usually, when students say, hey, my students like this, what schools do you think is a good match? Usually this will help me filter like 1 or 2 schools that boom, oh, your child, have you thought about this school? Have you thought about that school as well too? But keep in mind, a lot of these schools offer very similar majors. So if you're looking for a specific, I want to study bio, I'm 99% sure that all these schools offer bio. If you want to study a certain field, like again, even business, right? Not every school and not every UC offers business. So like there's actually four, Berkeley, Irvine, Riverside, and Davis. Those are the four schools that offer a business program. But the other UCs offer something similar, right? So like I mentioned earlier, UCLA offers business econ, right? So it's not business, but it's very similar to it as well too. So keeping that in mind as you guys are searching, and this is just like use this as a starting point to continue on. Okay, so that's the UCs. Let's also do one for the Ivies as well, for those who are always like interested in the Ivy schools as well. So again, I think we'll do the same one, same thing. So we'll do a known for, why a student might choose the field as well too. So the first school, let's start with Harvard, the school that everyone knows, and this is like the school that everyone builds off of as well too. Harvard as well too, right? So Harvard is known for their brand, prestige, right? Again, not everyone knows every college out there. Fun fact, there's over 5,000 colleges in the US. So not everyone knows every UC, but you say Harvard, anyone for pretty much any country knows that's the brand, right? The brand there. They're big on law, big on business, big on government, vast resources because the money they have. The huge endowment is the key here, right? So why would a student want to choose a Harvard, right? You're a future leader who wants access to powerful global network and unparalleled resources as well too, right? So really, really unparalleled resources, right? So I can't spell unparalleled. I'll fix it a bit. So there. Next one, Yale, right? Actually, fun fact, Yale. I brought a few students on like an Ivy tour. Once I visited Yale, that if I was to go to the Ivy, that would be my Ivy of choice. The vibe was amazing there. But they're known for humanities, arts, drama, law, and their residential college system as well too. So you are a creative, intellectual student who thrives in a collaborative, close-knit community as well. So creative, uh, parallel. There you go. Right. Next one is Princeton. This one looks like Hogwarts, is what we always say, right? It looks like an actual castle over there. Undergrad focused, engineering, uh, public policy, and theoretical sciences, right? It's turned here, serious academic who wants deep engagement with professors and focus on undergrad research over here. Next one is Columbia, right? Columbia, urban setting. So this one's in New York as well too, right? Journalism, finance, and they have something called the core curriculum that everyone takes as well too over here. So students here are independent and independence and ambitious, wanting to use the city as your campus for internships and culture. Again, it's a school that's in the city itself, so it's pretty cool. You'll see it stands out. This is really big. So it's a very iconic picture, a statue there as well too. Okay, next one, UPenn. University of Pennsylvania as well too. They're probably most famous for their business program, ranked the number one business program in the world as well too. Right, business is Wharton. They have a pre-professional focus as well too. They're also one of the work hard, play hard schools as well, right? So over here, you are practical, ambitious, a student with clear career goal, especially in business or healthcare. One of our students, I share a story more recently. One of our students, she met as like a ninth grader. We worked with her all 4 years. She came to us as a computer science student in ninth grade, and then as working with her, she went from computer science to 10th grade computer science and business to dropping computer science in like May of 10th grade to adding healthcare over her summer. So she was business and healthcare, and she went through. And so this right now, she's actually a student there right now. She's a first year in their business and nursing double major, double program as well too. It's pretty cool as well. So she pretty much hit both of the big core things here. Next one is Brown. Brown, their big thing they always say is their open curriculum. By the way, if you answer the question, why do you want to come to our school? Again, the open curriculum is what everyone uses to answer. So that is an answer, but that's probably not it's a very overused answer there. The creative freedom is very progressive, intellectual exploration as well. And next one, you are a self-directed, curious learner who wants to design your own education without constraints. And that's what the open curriculum is, right? So you basically get to, in a sense, create your own major, if that makes sense, right? So you kind of have a core, but you get to build your classes that you feel makes sense for you. A lot of schools do this similar thing like Berkeley offers, they call it an interdisciplinary major as well too. So you're kind of creating your own experience based on what you want. That's kind of what Brown's kind of known for. Over here, I think Brown also, fun fact, I don't know if parents like this or not, but I think they still do have a co-ed same room dorming as well too. Or maybe they changed, but from a few years ago, that was one of their things that's very unique about them. No one else does that as well too is there. Right. Next one, Dartmouth. Dartmouth undergrad teaching, close knit community, outdoorsy, and Greek life, right? One of the things a lot of parents, I don't know, you think about it, but something to consider for students in college is, do you want to again rush and do the Greek? There's social ones and there's professional ones as well too, right? Here, you want a classic rural college experience with strong sense of community and school spirits is the key. Okay, and last but not least, Cornell. Cornell as well too. This is the largest and most diverse Ivy, right? Known for their engineering, hotel management, as well as agriculture as well too. So Ivy is you want the Ivy prestige, but with the program diversity and feel of a larger state university is the difference. And that is the breakdown. Those are the 8 Ivy League colleges over here. Okay. So that's the breakdown of the schools, what they are, the fields as well too. And last quick thing for this training before we kind of wrap it up. Actually, 2 more things, right? Next one's the reality. I call it the reality check, right? Because again, earlier I asked in the chat, like, hey, where are you guys aiming to? And you list some big schools, right? LA, Berkeley, these schools. And I kind of mentioned earlier, these schools, not many people actually make it in, right? So going back to stats real fast, right? UCLA, those are 8, 9%. right? Right now we have 165 people here. That means what? Less than 165, less than 15 of you, of the 165 are going to make it in. Statistically, if you're in this group, statistically, your child's not going to make it. It's kind of what the stats, and in Ivy is even worse, 3 to 8% as well too. So again, from the 165 people we have here, how much is that? Eight? No, less than eight. Like handful, less than two hands. I can count that will get accepted. Everyone else will get rejected as well too, right? So I say it not to get you upset or anything. It's reality. I think, and that's the one thing we always want to make sure it fits in play, right? If a student wants to go somewhere, right? So like let's talk about this way, right? If you have a destination, right? If you have the destination in mind, what you're usually missing is the directions, right? Directions to get there. That's it. And for a lot of our students that do work with our team, that's what we provide. We provide the direction to get them there. We give them the guidance, the sides of the roads to make sure you don't go off track. This is where you guys stay go. We get something push the car with them as well to get through the journey. But for the most part, we get them to that direction over here. The issue where it has this is, let's say you want to you're in California, right? And you want to get to New York, and all you have is a bicycle with one broken wheel as well too, right? If you have that, can you make it? You can, but it's statistically very hard. That's probably not enjoyable for you either to get on this journey here. So we always tell families there's a lot of things we always tell when a parent tells us like my child has to go, has to go to, let's say, Harvard as well too, right? We always like, ooh, has to is a very strong word as well too, right? Because again, do we have to go there as well too? We can. Again, that's why we go back to our us is perfect fit. Is that the perfect fit for your child? If that is, cool, perfect. Let's get them there. And all you're missing is the directions, right? So let's help you guys, guide you guys there. But for some families, right? Right? We know that that the child's not going to make it as well too. So why do we force all these unrealistic expectations of them? They're just going to suffer. And let's say that again, right? Assume, right? They make it in as well too. Making it in is the easy part. This is the easy part as well too. Right? Not sure of how many of you guys have kids in college as well too. They can tell you that once you go to college, the work doesn't get easier. We don't work really hard only to enjoy life. Parents, think of it as work. You get a promotion, right? You work really hard to get a promotion. Does life get easier? Right? Usually it gets double, triple hard with double, triple responsibilities with things that you didn't even know you needed to know once you got that role. That's kind of how college is, right? You got accepted to a top tier school. Keep in mind that because only 3% got in, right? You're sitting in a room surrounded by the 3%. No one doesn't click to a lot of people's head. They're like, hey, you're in a room where you were number one of your school, your area, your state. But when you come to this room, you might not be number one, right? You might be number 10, halfway as well, too. So this is where, again, some students struggle so much because growing up in high school, I call it the wall. They never hit that wall yet. So they never felt the failure of anything yet, right? So they think is good. And when they come to college, they're like, holy moly, this is why kids drop out. This is why kids get kicked out of college. And it happens. Look up all these schools. Every school I mentioned to you, no school has a 100% graduation rate. Every school that I mentioned to you, kids got kicked out every single year, and every single year kids drop out on their own. That's fact. That's how the numbers look it up. You see all those numbers well too. So when it comes to this thing, right, we always tell the students, hey, why do you want to go to that school? Because if the student wants to go, and there's a reason why, I call this is the intrinsic motivation. This is why they want to go, right? This is basically I want to go, right? Extrinsic motivation is mom is I want Johnny to go. as well too. Because again, mom can want you to go, dad can want you to go, Coach Tony can want you to go. But if the student doesn't want to go, they're not going to make it as well too, right? So keeping that in mind as we're working on the college list, which is our last thing today as well too, is figuring out our college list again. At the end of the day, we love to brag, right? Parents, you would be very proud to brag about your child getting to a top tier school. I would love to brag that we help you guys get into a top tier school. So that is always there. The difference, however, is will their child be happy once they get into that school? That's why for us, we push so hard on perfect fit. We push so hard on best fit. Is that the best fit for you? Because the reality is this: we help our kids get into the Ivies, but some of these students will come back to us a year later and say, hey, I'm actually going to transfer because I went to this school. It's not for me, right? It's definitely not what I was expecting and that as well too. That's normal. No one talks about it, but that's reality. We've actually had, I think, two kids from this past class reach out to us a few months ago and say, "Hey, I took a few weeks, and it's great school. Maybe not for me as well." So we're helping them transfer now to another school in a few years as well too. So keeping that in mind, the big thing is you want to find the perfect fit for them is the key, and that's going to help them determine what they want to do next. That's the biggest thing over here. Okay. That's that. Last piece today before we dive into I think we have some questions. Feel free to keep dropping your questions, guys. I see questions in the chat. Both sides drop questions as well too. By the way, real quick, is this training good so far? You guys liking this? Is a fun training, little different, a little more casual. I usually go a lot more intense, a little more casual down the train. You guys like this format? Drop a little yes in the chat if you guys like this format. A little different, a little different. I usually more hype, yell you in your face. This is more like chill. We're just chatting out loud, brainstorming. Helps I have my notes now. I should have more notes off to you usually as well too. Topics we need a part two as well. Yeah, let's just do a quick little final. This is the college list, right? So building your college list as well too. Cool. Let's do this quick, little fast, and we'll dive into some questions for you guys. Okay. So the first step, all right, we call this kind of a four-step process. So step number one is start with your students, not the college as well too. So usually, right, a lot of people always focus on, hey, let's look at this school, this school, this school, this school. First, if you notice when we talk to our students, we ask you, hey, Johnny, what do you want in a college? Right? We ask the student, what are they looking for? Are they looking for some factors to consider, right? Location, proximity as well too. Do you want to stay close to home? Do you want to go far from home? Right? School size as well too, right? Do you want a big school, right? Or do you want a smaller school? UCs are massive, right? The Ivy Knows are tinier, but now you guys know Cornell is actually that nice in between. So you want Ivy with big ones. That's another thing to think about as well too, right? Do you want are you school spirit? Does that matter? Do you want to go to the sports games? Again, I mentioned again, UCLA has a D1 team, really big on their sports as well too, right? So and then something major, right? Study. Keep in mind, I'm gonna put a note here, right? As well too. Your majors statistically will change. I think a recent study, I think last year, polled 80% of students, 80% of students will switch their majors in college, their majors as well too. However, most students will not switch colleges, right? They'll probably stay at their school the entire time. Switching majors is more common, switching colleges is not. So I always tell students, go to the college that you enjoy the most. Your major can switch and change. Again, in the reality of the world, is it going to make a big difference? Probably not, right? Unless you're an engineer. That's the only major that I know that got students to an engineering degree or vice versa, right? But if you want to be a doctor, my best friend from high school, from college, she was a history major from Berkeley. Today, she's a pediatrician. My roommate today is a lawyer. He graduated as a math major. So again, does your major and career have to be exactly correct? Not really, as well too. But again, engineering kind of does, right? So that'd be the only one that I know can be like directly related. But for a lot of other programs, right, there's other things you can consider as well, and there's other factors, right? Factors that matter to the student. I was telling this is sometimes for some parents, I can tell them, hey, mom or dad, are you going to college? Or is Sarah going to college as well too? So we gotta focus again on the students themselves. Of course, right? Like, here's my counter to my counter is that I always tell parents, hey, you're probably gonna pay for college. Is that correct? Because if the parents are paying, now I flip back to the student. If your parents are gonna pay for the college, they have a say. right? And where that money is going as well too. Like for me, I'm the extreme example that my parents told me to go to UCLA because I got a full ride. I said no to that. I went to Berkeley, not on a full ride, but it's because I took out every loan under my name as well too, right? One of the you can't do that anymore. It's a lot of laws against that. But I made a cutoff. I took loans under my name. My parents couldn't really yell at me, so I tell students like, if you don't want anything, like jump, make the jump yourself, and are you willing to do that? Most students, by the way, I don't think will do that jump. They'll take the help from mom or dad in this process. I'm like, oh, in that case, then mom or dad has a say in your journey as well too. But again, the big takeaway: start back at the student, right? Not the college itself. Then once you have that, you're going to research the programs at the schools as well too, right? So for me, look at the programs as well too, because again, you don't get stuck in like, all go to this school's this program. You want to look at programs in general, and that will help you diversify different colleges, right? So if you're looking for engineering, don't just look for Harvard engineering, look for engineering at several schools as well too. I always call these pathways, all right? Pathways as well too. There's three big pathways pretty much out there. There's the engineering, computer science, engineering, computer science. There's going to be the STEM business, and there's going to be the humanities and arts, right? So when it comes to majors, you don't know what major yet. Because again, realistically, you won't have to declare your major till year 3 of college, which means if you are an 11th grader, you still have like 4 years, 3.5 years to figure it out before you actually have to declare as well. So don't stress about that, but try to figure out what pathway. Am I leaning towards computer science engineering? Am I leaning towards business or STEM? Or am I leaning towards humanities or arts? And pretty much every major you can think of falls under one of these three categories. So that's what I want to look into, because again, you're probably going to switch statistically, again, 80%. You're statistically going to switch your majors anyway. So don't focus so much on the major, focus on the programs, the pathways that the school focus on is the key over here. Okay. Number 3, next one as well too. Look at the financials as well. This is more for parents as well too. It's talking to students, they can see it too, but this is more for the parents. Is the key, and to figure out, hey, how much is the school gonna really cost us? Is the key there, right? So look at the money, especially parents, if you are going to be assisting your kids with as well too. Of course, all of us dream for the full rides and this and that. I would say in today's world, unless right? Your income bracket is low enough that you fall for like need-based grants as well too. Most of our families that work with us are not in that bracket, so you're a little higher is the key. And people think I'm gonna get a scholarship from school. Usually it's for sports, and it's usually for like D1, right? So if you're not like D1, D2, some schools don't even offer you money as well too. So consider that as part of the process. But something I would consider you guys doing, if you guys are connected with us, I can connect you guys to Coach David. Coach David helps our families on families who may usually. So I will talk to tip here, pro tip for you guys is chat with contact Coach David from our team as well too. He helps families who make over 100K or more find free money for college as well too. He calls it institutional aid. He goes to the school, negotiates aid on your behalf. Usually 100 to 500,000. So that's kind of the bracket that he does. 500 to 500. If you're in that bracket, he can find you money. If you make less, he'll find what you guys can find, so it's probably not beneficial. Higher, it depends case by case, but usually if you make 100 500K, contact him. Just text our team, text Coach David, and our team can full connect you with him. 949-775-0865. He'll help you guys out, especially for juniors. By the way, if you're a junior currently right now, definitely reach out to him. Now is like the timing for that to help you guys get started. And seniors, by the way, seniors, if you haven't done your FAFSA yet, definitely ring Coach David and see if he can help you guys, because part of his process is helping you with the FAFSA forms as well too. Okay. And the last piece of this, right? Once you look at the financials and everything, then you want to build your list, right? And when it comes to building your list, there's 3 buckets of schools you want to look into, right? The first bucket is reach colleges, right? Reach schools, and there's target, and there's safety, right? So target schools is when your stats are equal to the stats of the incoming class, right? The average stats. So if we look at these numbers, you'll see that, oh, incoming class had this GPA, this test score. If you're like, wait, my GPA is around the same amount, my test score is around the same amount, Boom, that's a target school for you guys as well. Okay. Next one, safety is your stats are above the average as well. And a reach school, your stats are below the average or the admit rate is less than 20%. So Ivies, automatic, all of them are reaches, no matter how smart you think you are. All those schools are reaches schools for everyone. UCs, again, half of the UCs, automatic reaches for most students just because of the nature of being less than 20% admin rate is the key. Okay. And that's pretty much it. You build your list over here. I would say on average, our families apply to 10 to 15 colleges per school. Okay. Cool. That is pretty much a wrap for this little training as well. So yeah, so before we dive into a little bit of Q&A for you guys enjoyed the training, drop a quick yes if you guys liked it, as well to know if you guys didn't like it is a thing. So hopefully this call was helpful for you guys a little bit. Again, a lot of our families always kind of feel, hey, where do I go to? What should I look into and think about is the key over here. Okay. I'm going to answer a few questions offline, but if you're watching this recording, thank you guys for coming, and I'll see you guys on the next one.